Konstantin Magnus. In this Houdini tutorial we are going to create a fruit bowl. Let's start from scratch with a box. Make sure to activate the wireframe on top of the Goro shading and give the box 11 by 11 by 11 divisions. We can apply a UV coordinate by using the UV unwrap node, which will essentially create those squares for us in UV space. And then we will adjust the vector attribute of capital P, which stands for position, and disable the adjustment values, but use a post process to turn these vectors into unit length, which spherifies our box. Next, I would like to create some groups. So we got the top point and the top half of the entire apple. So let's just switch the group type to points and call it top. There's a function called rel point bbox, which returns the relative point position between 0 and 1. And if we just pick the y component and select only what's above 0.999, then this should select the top point no matter of the resolution of our sphere. Let's copy that expression. In the next group, we're going to just call half. We're going to use this again, but this time we'll say above 0.5001, just to make sure we are slightly above half. This should be it for now, and I'll just append a null node called sphere. From this sphere we are going to create the bowl and also the fruits. So let's start with the bowl and blast the half. It was a point group, and that would then leave us with just the bottom half. Next, I would like to stretch the bowl a bit along the z-axis, or perhaps just the x-axis instead. You can also enable the back-facing tint, so we would tell the insides apart from the outsides. And then we can give it a bit of extrusion, maybe 0.05. Don't forget to enable the back sides. And to support subdividing, we will also add a poly bevel. We will exclude the smooth areas and just ask for a maximum angle of 45, so we will only get the beveling at those sharp corners. And switch to solid. If you zoom in, you will see that this is just the way it's done in subdivision modeling, so it remains sharp, but it will be smoothly subdivided later. Also have a look, we should still have decent normals, UVs, and this would be it for now. You may want to append a color node to tint the bowl a little bit, but that would be it. Make sure to name it bowl, and you can take over that name by using the $OS expression, which will just grab the node's name, and it would show up here under primitives. Alright, let's go back to the unit sphere we created here. And I would like to, first of all, create some points based on the stretched bowl. And it was a bit easier to work with when it was still complete. So let's just switch the transform against the blast node. So back in the transform node, we had an ellipsoid, which I would like to convert in a VDB from polygons. So this is essentially a signed distance field. We can increase the resolution to 0.01 and use a spheres from VDB node, VDB to spheres node, to fill it with spheres that should not overlap. And I would set the maximum number of spheres to 1000 and the point count, which is essentially the number of attempts to fill this perfectly, I'd set to maybe even 1,000,000. Takes a while, but it's worth it. I would like to set the minimum radius to 0.1 and the maximum radius to 0.2. We will use world space units for that, and this is like the minimum and maximum size of our fruits. We can also lift up the minimum radius a bit to make it a bit more consistent. And we could also add a p-scale attribute, which is the point scale. So we have a way of identifying the size of each sphere. Now at the moment you can tell that all spheres are oriented in a similar manner. So let's change that by randomizing their orientation. The orient attribute is a quaternion with 4 components. And we would choose the distribution called direction, which makes sense. So once you copy that initial sphere to those points, you should see a mesh copied to each point with all sorts of different directions and sizes. And those are non-intersecting, which is looking almost like they were dropped into that ellipsoid. One thing I would like to avoid is having the entire bowl filled up like that. So let's go back to the sphere primitives, which are essentially treated as points, and create a group node to points. Disable the base group and enable the bounding regions set to sphere, and increase the size a bit. If you move that down, you can now see that we can dynamically select the fruits we want to keep in. And now I can use this selection inside my copy to points node as target points. So that way we should be able to fill this up a bit more realistically. I will append or rather alt drag a copy of the name node and call it fruits. Let's merge both streams to see the current result. And now we can start playing a bit. For example, while there's no seed to randomize the result, we can slightly change things like the minimum radius, or we could experiment with slightly changing the voxel resolution, which will create an entire new result. In order to make this a bit more interesting, we would like to use a soft peak on the top point and displace it downwards a bit, so that way it looks a bit like a fruit. There's a radius you can also play with. I would like to apply a color based on the bounding box, which can be done with the attribute adjust color node. And we will pick that bounding box Y component and simply remove colors that do not match. I will just keep in green and yellow. And now I would like to apply random tinting to each of those fruits. Now when you look back to the VDB2Spheres node, there is an ID attribute, but it's not running on a per point basis, but to different VDBs. So we should come up with our own ID. Using an enumerate node, we can apply that to the points and call it ID. It will be copied through with the copy to points node. You can see by clicking on ID that we have different numbers here. And after copying, I would like to just create some random color hues. So let's use attribute randomize with one component and just have a look at what another attribute adjust color node would expect. So when I want to adjust the color inside the color correction, there's a hue shift we can use using that attribute hue shift and paste this into my attribute randomize node. Make sure it's just one dimension. And now as soon as we apply a hue shift of, let's say, -20, you should get a bit of a mix for each ID. This will work by going back to the attribute randomize node where we pick up the ID. And this would then create various different seeds. That's at least my hope. Let's just go to the attribute adjust color node and have a look whether everything is working as expected. So the seed attribute seems to vary, but we should increase the scale to make this effect more drastic. I'll use a global scale of 20 and then play with the seed again. So we need both a large scale for the hue shift inside the attribute randomize node and a strong hue shift in the attribute adjust color node. Back to our result. This would be our first draft, and now I would recommend to match the size. So we would floor it by setting justify Y to min. That way it sits nicely on the floor. And we should also scale to fit based on the Y component. And it may help to temporarily come up with a character like Electra. So we have a reference of the real size. She is 160, so we would dial down the target size accordingly so it roughly matches. And we can also just pick a group component from a primitive group like just the bowl and not the fruits. And then we can define the size of the bowl to, let's say, 0.15. Let's now append a null node called out. And this is how we can model a fruit bowl with non-intersecting fruits. Thank you for watching.